All right, we're back to our war coverage in a moment, but word in today that New Jersey Senator Bob Menendez faces even more federal charges now after prosecutors claim the senator and his wife conspired to have him act as a foreign agent of Egypt. The new filing says, quote, among other actions, Menendez provided sensitive U.S. government information, took other steps that secretly aided the government of Egypt. Let's get Brian Claypool in on this. The criminal defense attorney joins us with, I guess, perspective, if from bad to worse, from Senator Menendez. But this was literally the former chairman of the Foreign Relations Committee, or at the time of the charges, I suppose, the chairman of the Foreign Relations Committee, now being accused of being a foreign agent. I mean, what would you say about this?
Hey, Connell, I think sadly that these additional charges might be politically motivated because under the law, Menendez can't even be an agent because he's a U.S. senator. So these charges don't even make sense on that grounds. And then the second argument I would make is, what's the definition of being an agent? Well, I looked it up, and an agent, much like in sports, that's somebody who is representing to be in a position where they can make a decision or represent somebody else. And there's little, if any, evidence of that. And then I think the third difficulty for prosecutors in proving up these charges is, was there money exchanged? Was money sent to Menendez for these alleged favors? And they found gold bars and money in Menendez's house. Well, how do you trace that to somebody in Egypt? Very difficult.
Not many people defending Bob Menendez lately, and I don't think you are either. You're just saying that these particular charges might not be the ones that stick, whereas if they're saying, as I believe they're alleging in this particular indictment, that he was passing on information, say, to Egypt, you're saying that's covered in other parts of the previous indictment that we've already reported on? Is that the point?
Yeah, exactly, Connell. I think this is overcharging to potentially influence or persuade Menendez to not be a senator anymore. And there's like 40 senators now telling him to resign. But back to your point, exactly. I mean, this is really a bribery case. Did Menendez receive money in exchange for a favor? It's that simple. And that's what this case should hinge on. And that gets to my point. How do you prove that he got money in exchange for a favor? They said they had DNA of somebody on an envelope in his house. But where's the DNA on the money and where's the DNA on the gold bars? How
do you like his chances overall? Forget this particular indictment.
I think he's got a great chance of at least getting a hung jury, if not getting an acquittal.
Interesting.
Remember in 2017, Connell, similar charges that ended up in a deadlock jury.
Brian, thanks as always. Brian Claypool, the analysis there of what we're dealing with legally with Senator Menendez. We'll see you soon. Thanks for coming on today.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.